Hi, this is Jill from Gilbert's Bits of Bites, and I'm here today to show you my Action Pattern Maker 2, and this is the Elements version. There are two versions. You get the same output, but the way you get there is different, and there's actually two versions of the Elements one. There's Elements from 11 to 14 and Elements 15 and up, and that has to do with how groups are handled in Elements. So this thing started, this whole action, this is not an upgrade to my original pattern maker. This is a whole new way of doing things. It's been rewritten and things added, but it's a different technique. And it came about when I was looking for things to explain about making patterns to my team, because when they were trying to use Pattern Maker, it was confusing, it wasn't easy to do. And I ran across this way of doing it, and it was like an aha moment. I couldn't believe I've been doing it the hard way all these years when there was such an easier way of doing it. And so this is the result. So let's get going here. I'm going to, first here is create a tile. And it's real simple. This is your tile. And it's a 900 by 900 tile. That doesn't like to show up. Okay, so this one here is to create the pattern tile. Real simple. In this one here that says start here, I'm going to start building what is actually my initial layering for my pattern. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's initial layering, and you want to try to not cross the borders, but I'm going to do it really bad so I can show you something later. Okay, so there's that. Let's go with here. Yeah, no, that's not what I want. Have that down there. Then I want to come up, let's get this out of the way, to the top and put my camera in. And I didn't come back to the top. I must have something set wrong somewhere. God knows. Things happen that I'm not aware of because I don't know how to set up the preferences. Okay, so let's say we have that. And one last thing, I want to get a leaf. So, and I got out of that. So come down here, throw in a leaf. I have no idea why these things fall in where they do, but I'll just have to live with it. It must be with the way I'm dragging and dropping the stuff in here rather than doing a simple place. So anyway, that's it. That's how I'm going to start. Okay. Now, before you do what I'm going to show you, remember you're on here one step off at the stop on the create pattern tile, because you're going to need to know that, because now if you want to view this thing and check the results of what you've made, you want to come down here to view full size pattern. So that's what I'm going to run. And what this will do is it will, as you can see, tile things up. So if you like what you see, you can do one of the full-size patterns down here, but you're not really done, okay? So ignore that one. And as you can see, it looks like it's okay when I come over here, but when you look over here, especially on this one, you can see where there's a problem. They have overlapped and they don't have anything matching on the side, and it would not be seamless. Real simple, okay? So I just close this one out. Don't save. Like I said, remember where you were on this create pattern tile. I would come up here and move this in. Move this over. Okay. And if I want to see if I fix that, then I just run full size pattern again. And so I come in back up to this very first one and nothing is missing. Okay. So now I want to go back to where I was in this one. And I want to be back in my start here. Okay, and I'm going to tell it to select all layers, and this is how I get to the next step of what I'm going to do. I'm fumbling in my language too. Okay, as you can see, you've got something here. What I did is I've taken the group, the whole things that existed in here that were visible, and those layers anyway, and I've copied them in 4 corners. And that's how you're going to start the tile. Now what you're going to do is fill in behind it. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and take my white flower, and I don't want it that big. Why are you doing that to me? I don't work in elements, so you can see I am really fumbling. I only know enough to be dangerous. Okay, so there's that, and I'll accept it. And let's come back here and take this. You might want to behind my flower and adjust it in here. And yeah, I still have a white space. Maybe it's not so big a problem. I'm going to go down and do this view full size. Excuse me, my nose itches like crazy. I don't have a voice. It's been windy here, and it's really wreaked havoc on my allergies. Okay, thinking. I love the little pizza wheel. Okay, stop. There you see, it's done it. I look up in the corner, and it's like it was. I shifted things off, but they're not cut off. If you can see that I've got this, but it's got to match over here on the other side. So that's that pattern. So I'm done, and I'm going to close it. Okay. I like what I see, but I want things different. No, don't. Keep this. Okay. Don't save. I talk to myself a lot. Okay, so you supposedly have looked at what you've done and it's gone off. This is a pattern. Don't save. Here's my tile. And I've gone through all of them. I've created my tile pattern. And it's time to save things out. But what I want to do, you might want to ungroup this or whatever. It just ungroups this big one. I want to turn off. I want a transparent background. And I'm ready to go. So I go down here to create pattern. And this is going to create a little pattern in your patterns. You come down here, your preset manager, go into patterns. And it's going to show up that's my old one. Anyway, it's going to show up as a new one, okay? And there it's going to append it to the end of it. I tell you that because it looks like it isn't going to do anything. So it comes up, saves it as a PAT. You can name it what you want. And if I come back up here into my preset and go into patterns, and there it be, right there, okay? And that's just whatever. Okay, I want to save it as this thing in layers, let's say. I want to be able to come back. This is my backup. If I need to make changes, I want the layered file, and it saves it out as a Photoshop file. God, blame it on the allergy medicine, right? Okay, this one tells you if you want to save a full-size pattern, the full, 36 by 36. But I don't have my pattern file, which this thing needs. I just have my tile. So I have to come up here and view my full-size pattern tile. And so with the transparent background, that's what's different. So then I come down here and I can save this out. What it will do is save all the layers. And this is pretty much for somebody who wants to make a template, because you are going to have to go back and hand do some things. Like I'm going to have to save this particular layer of every single group up here and, merge them all onto one layer. But this, this takes care of a big chunk of it. This one here is a flattened tile. Please do not run this if you intend to save a full-size layered file, because this will flatten it and you won't be able to get layers. But what this will do is it'll take everything here, and it will take what's visible and it will flatten it and save it out as a ping. This one here is Save Full Size Pattern. Again, you're back into your full size, view full size pattern, and it saves it as a ping. It flattens it, all the layers, and saves it out as a ping. This is something you might want to use if you're creating overlays. This one here for the Save Full Size Pattern with Background, and which saves it as a JPEG, does basically the same thing. It smashes it all and saves it as a JPEG. But this will get, whether or not you have the background layer or the Start Here layer turned on, this is going to give you your background if you don't. Okay, so that's, that's what you're going to get. And that's it. If you've got any questions, you can definitely get hold of me through the Digital Design Studio. I've got my email in there. Or you can message me. Or you can send me an email directly. You send it to admin@bitsofbytes.org.